It'll be some information for sure.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Maybe I'm recording that stuff while we're waiting.
Decided to leave a little later, Ralph?
Yeah. Still trying to get everything ready.
Jan, if I keep escaping during the meeting, it's not because I'm not paying attention to you, but my internet's giving me a lot of problems.
You know those electrons, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Well, out here in the forest, they haven't upgraded our infrastructure in probably 30 years.
Mary, thanks for those articles. They were really good.
Oh, excuse me. We'll go ahead and start now. Wanted to welcome everybody. This is CJ Davila with FGPC. We may have a couple of others joining here shortly, but Jennifer, I did give you control, make you a host, so you should be able to put up whatever you need to do. Just a quick background on what's happening here today. There are some funds that are allocated for disaster recovery that have been with the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity that we've been monitoring for quite some time. They did specify that the funds needed to be certified green. So any new construction built with these funds need to be certified FGPC. And so with that, Jennifer has been working with the team to determine what the best way to fit their models into our program are. And so we've gotten to a place now where we've got some floor plans, we've got some recommendations for their models to ensure that they're all going to be FGPC certified. Today's meeting was called to kind of walk our certifying agents through the process so that you guys have a heads up as these are rolling out. You're one step ahead of everybody else, that you understand what we're doing and how we're doing it with regards to the process. I'll let Jennifer Languell take over now, and she'll walk you guys through the process. You're on mute, Jennifer.
All right.
There you go.
Much better. So what I was saying was that this is just to get you guys as much information as possible that we have as soon as possible. I would bet, because it's government, that things will change, but as soon as we know what changes, we will keep you guys informed. And so what's going on is right now the state has $300 million in IRMA funds for disaster recovery. And some of that is retrofitting or updating if a roof was gone. Some of it is mobile home replacement, and some of it is new construction. And we do have a requirement that any new construction is FGBC certified. So anything that they build from scratch has to achieve certification. We also know that the next batch of money that comes down for Michael is 600 million, so twice the quantity of this. And that also has an FGBC certification requirement. So just keep in mind, the reason we're trying to get this as soon as possible is so that they don't start throwing money out to contractors and not do the certification. So right now, when I look at the list of contractors that are approved for IRMA, there's about 80 different contractors or subcontractors related to the construction side. There's 115-ish total, but some of them have nothing to do with new construction. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of contractors out there. And these contractors are awarded bundles, and these bundles go up to $25 million as a bundle. So there may be a contractor that is $5 million or $10 million of allocated work, but they do go up to $25 million per contractor. What we don't know is how many homes are they talking, and where are the homes that they're talking about. So those I know are two key things, and I find it shocking that we don't know where these homes are or how many of them there are, but according to Tallahassee is the answer. So what they did was they have a company that's basically administrating the project for them, and that company put together some floor plans. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom floor plan. On those plans, they have all the possible details that you could want to build a house. They have them both as stick frame and concrete block. The plans really are, I'd say, generic, and the contractor will have to do the structural engineering for the specific set of plans in the specific location and wind load, because IRMA does go literally from the Keys up to the Panhandle with damage. So they sent the plans that they created to Calcs Plus, to Dennis Strower, and Dennis Strower or someone at Calcs Plus ran the energy calcs. So these are the preliminary scores from the EMB files that were created. And so he ran them in 2 different locations. He did run them, I believe, as stick frame. I'd have to double check that. But so for our purposes, when we were working with DEO to create a baseline for the houses, instead of assuming, and you can see that the worst case HERS here is a 59, we went ahead and assumed a worst case HERS as a 65 to give a little bit of buffer in the field. These are worst case orientation, but we tried to build in room for error so that their worst case scenario is still certifiable. So knowing their worst case scenario, which is a 5-bedroom or even the 4-bedroom in this instance, would receive no small home credits, that's the house we used as the baseline. So we ran everything using the 5 bedrooms so that we knew anything smaller than that would comply with the requirements. So again, I mentioned the HERS 65, so we have wiggle room. They can be stick or block. These houses could be going on someone's existing home site, meaning their house was a total loss, it was demolished, and they're going to rebuild on that home site. Or the house could be going on a new home site that was county-owned land, city-owned land, state-owned land. So we don't know exactly what type of lot these are going on, but in order to make this work, we have to make 2 assumptions. And one is, if a house has an existing pool, we're going to assume that's not in the scope. And if the lot happens to have existing irrigation, we're going to assume that's not in the scope. So we can't control whether or not they have an existing pool, and DEO does not have anything to do with the pool as part of their retrofit process. So that's why we have to, again, take it out of the scope of this. That's not something that the contractor is doing. And then again, the site with respect to irrigation. So if you look at the plans, and what we will do is we will make these all available to you guys when they're finalized. I'm still going back and forth a little bit here, but I've highlighted on the plans anything that has to do with either certification or green features. And so, for example, on that very first page in the general notes, note number 3 calls out all Energy Star appliances. It calls out reinforced tubing to those appliances. It calls out Bahia Zoysia or Bermuda sod. So we went through all of their plans and added in a lot of these notes so that they are 100% on the plans. Now, I can tell you that the administrator said, well, hopefully they'll follow the plans. And the response from DEO was, that's why we're paying you. So they are required to do everything on these plans. So feel free to enforce in any way what's on the drawings. So again, different notes from different pages talking about the windows, Energy Star and impact. We did give them all the VOC limits that are in the FGBC requirements so that they could add those. We added the no urea formaldehyde cabinetry. So we had to add some little tweaks to their current notes, again, to make sure that homes were certifiable. So for example, green guard carpet or floor score, hard flooring,
Hey, Carlos.
Self-cleaning oven.
I'm
So
good. I
again,
got hung up this morning.
hey, Jason, can you mute?
Sorry.
So we, again, just added as much as we could to ensure that there were points on the plans. The other thing we did to try and simplify the process was we modified the checklist. So basically, we've taken a checklist and we've gotten rid of all of the rows that are not applicable. And we've highlighted, so if it's something green on the checklist, it's in the plans. Or we know, for example, you're going to do it like a thermal bypass inspection because these houses need confirmed HERS, so you're going to be checking at midpoint, or someone's going to be checking at midpoint. So for example, all of this stuff that you see in green is on the plans. If it's yellow, it is either going to be site specific or plan specific. So for example, the roofed porch open on 3 sides, all of the houses have that except for the 4-bedroom. So most of the houses will achieve that point with the exception of the 4-bedroom. So I've added that note. Depending on whether it's concrete block or stick frame might determine whether we have floor joists sealed. These also have slab on grade wood, and also piles and piers. So again, we don't know if it's going to be an elevated slab or not. So these points, again, you may or may not get them if they're yellow. We don't know if someone might be on a well. Right now, they do not have Energy Star ceiling fans specified, but again, you may be able to get the contractor to do that. If a premium, there usually is a bit of a premium. So in water, the same thing. We insured all WaterSense low flow appliances. That is called out on the plans. The maximum flow rates and the minimum MAP rating are all called out on the plans. And what we don't know is anything about the landscape. You'll see here that we gave them the credit because they call out Bermuda, Bahia, and Zoysia, but we don't know what else they may have going on with their landscape. So lot is completely blank because we have no idea where these houses are going to be. When you look at site, we're assuming that probably the local government, local jurisdiction will require some erosion control. So likely you have some points here that'll come into play. And I know up in the north part of the state, we actually do have some topsoil that we can save and reuse. And I assumed a minimum 25% pervious surface on the lot. I didn't want to overreach on those points. So again, this is worst case. For health, again, everything you see here is on the plans. If it's yellow, it means that they may do it, they may not do it. So there were a couple of things that we asked them to put on the plans, like sealing the slab penetrations and the floor drains being sealed and using concrete board, but they're not reflected in the current plans. They may, because I'm going back and forth with them right now. But again, what you see here, and then materials may happen in some instances is the yellow, and is on the plans would be the green. Disaster mitigation, same thing. And then general category. So we do need you guys to help them, for example, draft erosion control plans and draft the homeowner's manual. And make sure that they're providing the checklist. And the reason I say that is because in this instance, with the points that we're currently assuming, they literally have 1 point to spare. So I'm not comfortable with that. We had them initially with a buffer of 7 points, but like I said, they missed some things on the plan, so I'm trying to work with them on that. That being said, we did assume a HERS of 65. So if the HERS is lower, and they do have maximum duct leakage requirements set on the plans. So we know you'll be performance testing. You may get more points from the HERS. You may get points from erosion control. You may get small house credit points. So if nothing changes, in my opinion, as long as we hold them to what's on the plans, we'll be fine. But I want to try and get a couple more buffer points in there for you guys. There are 2 houses that they awarded pre the bulk contracts. And just so you can understand where these houses are landing, the 3-bedroom, and they actually were awarded before we updated the plans. So the 3-bedroom currently scores 121 points. They were able to get 3 lot choice points and 10 small house credit points. And then the 2-bedroom is at 144, and they have 12 lot choice points and 20 small house points. So again, they really said they don't anticipate giving any 5-bedroom units out and very few 4-bedrooms. So I'm sure that the scores will be fine, but this is where we've landed. Now, we did again create this short version of the checklist. We prefer you use this because it'll make the on our side a lot easier for us to move these through the certification process. Our conversations with them right now are that they have 2 draws, basically. They have a 50% and 100% draw on the homes, and we are working into the checklist for those draws that at the 50% draw, they must have engaged a CA and have a preliminary checklist, or they're not getting paid. And at the 100% draw, they must have certification, or they're not getting paid. So we're going to have to treat these a bit like the the affordable houses that need the certificate to close and fast track them through the process, because we don't want to hold up the contractor's payments or they'll get twitchy or bitchy or any of the above. And that's what I have for you guys. So, like I said, what the important thing I think for us to know is the number of homes and the location of homes, and we don't know that yet. We know that they've started releasing funds, but only to 2 contractors. They've not released any big packages of here's 30 homes to this one guy and he needs to go build them. So with that, please feel free to ask questions.
Are we going to have a HERS prepared by someone else?
So, like I said, Couch Plus did do them. Now, I would probably call Couch Plus and say, hey, can we get your ENB files? Now, that being said, again, they may be stick, they may be concrete block, or they may have done them both. But no, in theory, you guys, again, or the contractor, since normally the HVAC guy does them, would have them prepared by his HVAC guy. Of course, we don't like that because they're never right, and we have to do it anyway to do the confirmed HERS. So no one's handing you the ENB file. I think, like I said, Couch Plus has them, and we could perhaps talk to them about releasing them. But that doesn't mean, again, that they will suit exactly the house you happen to get from an exterior envelope standpoint.
So from a rater point of view, we're still going to have to act as raters if we're raters.
If you're a rater, then you can do your rater and your FGBC. If you're FGBC, then you would likely be engaging that rater to do the confirmed HERS and blower door test, and or working with whoever is doing their code compliance testing if they are qualified to be able to do a confirmed HERS.
And this program is relative to Irma destruction, right?
Correct. So we just passed the 3-year anniversary of Irma, and now we're finally starting to maybe see some action happening. But like I said, I mean, hopefully with Michael, they'll be faster. I don't know if the same group is going to be the administrator on that project or not. It would be, they are one of the people shortlisted, and obviously there would be lessons learned here that would make that work well, but these guys have also taken a very long time to get rolling, so I don't know whether they're going to get the contract or not. Yes.
So are they providing any kind of training to these 80 lucky contractors?
I will be providing training to these 80 lucky contractors.
Oh, lucky you.
Contractors. So that is, again, what we're currently working on. DEO is still putting together their field team. Once they have their field team put together, we'll be doing an initial kickoff with DEO as well as some contractors, and then we will do another, likely a live session with the contractors and record it, and they are going to be required to have to listen to me, unfortunately, in order to get this ball rolling. The other thing that we're going to be giving these contractors is all of your information. So we're going to be giving them CA names and contact information for all of you guys that now have listened to this spiel. So that, again, we're making it easy for them to reach out to you guys.
Jennifer, this bill, if we keep on path and we put the new standards in effect January, you're going to disregard that and just keep using these checklists?
We'll probably update it. I mean, we can do either one of the two. Likely, again, these are going to be bulk permitted. But the new revisions that we're talking about to the home standards, I don't think they're earth shattering. So, and if for some reason they were, and it was making houses not certifiable, I think we would just grandfather this in for this program. And then for Michael, we'll make them use the new one. I think that would be a standards committee conversation versus, you know, just a unilateral type thing. Any other thoughts or questions? Once we do, like I said, get to a point where we have final information, then likely we'll figure out how to get you this information, either via Dropbox or, God forbid, Hightail, or, you know, make it accessible for download on the website, you know, but we'll figure out a way to get it to you as soon as we know it's absolutely final and they're getting ready to roll.
Hey, Jennifer, this is Mary. Can I ask you a quick question? So I understand these are required, the ones that you went through. What if we do run into a situation where a builder has a reason they want to present why they can't meet one of the requirements?
So if they can't meet so the requirement is they're FGBC certified. Now, we didn't really add in anything that wasn't on the plans. So if you run into a situation where you're getting a contractor who's just misbehaving, I would say reach out to me and I'll go back to Drew Winters or Andy. They're headed this economic recovery or disaster recovery section of the DEO. So if you're getting a red flag with a contractor, just let us know. I can tell you the two that are out right now, one of them they're already having issues with. So it's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen with the guys that have the $10 million and $25 million chunks. It's probably going to happen with the guys that have smaller, you know, pockets of money, because as happened with the one house, it's like he was low bid and we thought there was something up with the bid, but we picked him anyway. And now they're having all kinds of problems with him. So yeah, if you're running into an issue, someone's being cranky, they won't do it, or, you know, they just are saying they can't do it for whatever reason, then let us know. Like I said, everything is on their plan. So in theory, that's their contract. I will tell you, we were having a challenge with the windows for retrofits because it's an Energy Star vinyl window. And as you know, with a retrofit or a rebuild where it's not from scratch, a remodel, I guess we'll call it, the windows are various sizes. So because it was an Energy Star impact vinyl window, the lead time for the custom sizes was long and expensive. Now with new construction, I'm sure that they've picked standard sizes, so we shouldn't run into that issue. I did notice they've modified a couple of things, again, from a availability of material standpoint. So I think they're responding to the issues that they're seeing in the field. So again, they may respond back to us and say, hey, you know that requirement, we're going to drop it off. And of course, we would get that information to you as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Jennifer, this is Ralph. So the basic level is bronze, but if we can work with the contractors and get more points, we're not being held back, right?
No, absolutely not. And like I said, in this 2-bedroom instance, they're silver. And they're silver because, again, they had small house credits. So, you know, and a lot of lot choice credits. I mean, you're welcome to try, but, you know, again, things like sealing the slab penetrations or, you know, the Energy Star ceiling fans. I mean, you're welcome on any of the things. The things that I hid on Rose are really just not applicable. If it was something that could be done, it was low cost to do, or best management practices, I left those in, but they weren't willing to put 100% of what we did on the plans. So we really just tried to get them certifiable with a couple point buffer, and then again, built in a couple point buffer to the HERS as well.
Okay, I was just asking because we've had pretty good luck working with contractors, but it's a little bit extra work because we can show them where they can save money and achieve their points.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Okay. So you can always email CJ or myself if you have questions. And like I said, as soon as we have this finalized, and they're being very responsive right now because they're getting yelled at by DEO to get this money out and hit the streets. We'll send out the notification like CJ did here and provide the links to get all of the documents.
Real quick, Jennifer, there was a a chat from Aaron asking about the availability of the PowerPoint. Once we, as Jennifer just mentioned, we will set up some kind of a resource site either on our website, or we'll work through that, where we'll have this as a recording, this entire presentation as a recording available to you. And as well as all the floor plans and all of the documents we talked about today. So we just got to get to a place where they're final, that we know that they're going to be okay. We're just kind of giving you guys the heads up right now, but we will communicate via email, let you know where all of this information is, and it will be all in one place for you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
This is very nice job, Jennifer.
A lot of work.
Was.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
it could potentially be very big for FGBC, so we want to try and make it as smooth as possible. So also, if you get some of this work and you find or figure out something that will streamline it, by all means, please let us know.
We will.
So we're, like I said, these two first houses, we're donating basically the certifying to these first two. So hopefully we can get any glitches worked out and lessons learned in these first two before it's rolling in a much bigger picture. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Amy. I had a real quick question. Would you like some kind of notation on the checklist when it's sent in that it's specific to this program, so it might help weed out these from others? I know the checklist is different, but.
Correct. And quite honestly, that's really all that we'll need is if we see you using this checklist, there are unique project numbers that the administrator is using. So we need to refer or put that project number somewhere on the checklist, because that's how they're going to know it's done and they can pay that contractor. So I'll probably add a spot on the application page that says or shows the unique identification number that they're using for the project. You know, we do everything by address. And then once it's all done by address, you guys get a certificate number. But these do have a unique number. They don't do it by address. It's kind of a privacy thing that they don't want their server to have addresses on it just in case it's hacked. So they use a unique identifier. So we'll make sure that you guys are aware of what that is, and we'll highlight it on the plans. It's not on the generic plans. It comes out when you get a house specific or a lot specific, a person specific set of plans. It gets that unique identifier. All right, awesome. Okay, so that's it. I don't want to keep you guys. If you have any questions, just shoot us emails. And like I said, as soon as we know that stuff is rolling, we'll make sure you guys know. We just wanted to give you a heads up to know that this stuff is coming in unknown quantities and unknown locations, because, you know, what else do you need to know that not knowing?
Nobody knows.
We need to know is when.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you,
All right.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
You said that there.
Jen, you just have to end the meeting. There.
I'm trying.
It's all good.
Oh, there we go. I had to get out of that. There we go.
Perfect.
All right. Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.